Greetings, community. It's Kevin of Entropy Comics, and my pre-order arrived. And books, yeah, well, they did come a little bit earlier than I'm showing this video. However, I have been busy. Not in a bad way. I mean, between work and multiple signing events that I've been doing in the past 2 weeks, it's all good. I just haven't had opportunity, one, to be able to read everything that I had from last month, and two, be able to actually do the unboxing for you guys and myself, and be able to log them in and read. I'm so far behind. I'm freaking out. And what I really mean by that is I also making the acknowledgement that in 2 weeks, my next month's pre-order arrives. Seriously. So I definitely have to get through this. And before in which that I do, I just want to say thank you to you. Those in which that go ahead and cruise in on the rewind and or watch me on the live. Without you, this would just be, me and ether. And I appreciate you showing up, checking it out, making comments in below, making comments as we do the live. Spurs me on, gives me energy, and just overall, this is the excitement that I live for. So thank you very much. I appreciate you. Hey, Christina. Hope you're doing well. I mailed out your stuff. I mailed out DJ's stuff. And the other two individuals, Las Cruces and Ben Content stuff. So you should be receiving your things hopefully by next week. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me, being here, and here we get into it. I want to start it off by saying I ended up making a purchase of approximately 300. Yeah, it was 300 My Lights. In that purchase, the individual that made the sale wanted to wait until all the lots were sold prior in which that everything shipped. In my case, I ended up waiting at least 7, maybe 8 days prior in which that the shipment had went. I made no complaint. However, I'm making the assumption the individual felt guilty. The reason why is they end up in addition to the order purchased, I end up receiving this sketch, which is more of a piece of art. I am extremely grateful for this piece, and I have no idea who did it. I will look inside. Well, if you guys don't mind, well, let's do it now. I've yet to actually look inside, possibly see if there's anything in there in the sense of an identity of who did this work. It's just amazing. No indication. Nothing on the front side. Always looking in the back side. Nothing there. It's nice and clean. All right, well, nothing else. We're going to plot hygiene. No indication who this really is. It says DMCKEO. KYO? Mikio? I don't know. I might have to check this out in the sense of doing a little more research. I was just grateful to receive it. I just thought I was very generous with that, and I ended up receiving a little mini pup. I never got one before, and it's a little Deadpool, so it's kind of cute. I dig it. Moving on. All right, Feral. Issue 7, Virgin variant. I ended up picking that up at a store. Ended up picking this up on eBay. Just arrived the other day. Really love the back. Really cool. Just going through some of the variants that I received and some of the ratios that I got at some of the shops. Dwellings, issue, what was that? Issue number 1, right? But this is a continuation. Oh, it's the Halloween special. That's why. But this is the 1 in 10 variant. Really liked it. Really cool. Look forward to getting those stories because they are rather cool. I know there's other ones in here. Yeesh. I think things are kind of mixed up. I know I am. No, I meant to read all that. Yeah. So, okay, let's see what we can do here. Bought that at the shop. And then along with that, I end up getting the blanks. This is the Absolute Wonder Woman blank. Looks blank. This is actually just the little tissue paper they put in front. I rarely pull them off. If they look clean, I leave them on. I have the work done. And more times than not, I will leave it on. But if I want to display it, that's when I rip them off. Just a little extra added protection, I guess. Erring on the side of caution. Here's another one. You can actually see it says Wonder Woman. So was that a woman? I thought it was. Oh no. This is the absolute Batman. Yeah. That's why it's so difficult to see. I'm not opening it. The 1 in 10 for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Issue number 3. I do like my variants. I have to admit. I'm that guy. You know, I really didn't think about this. I could have got this signed. But here's the Fist of Khonshu. Issue number 1. I believe this is the 1 in 25. This is okay. Now I think we're getting into some of the regular stuff here. Yes. Well, there's still. Yeah. I'm a mixed up guy. So let's just start it out this way. So Toxic Avengers, issue number 1. This is the card variant. So I threw the card on his face. I end up going to do the comic clear on all these things. And I don't know. I like the ugliness. Get some out of protection here. Bam. There we go. There we are. All right. And then after that, ooh, I really am skipping around. Why am I so skippy? All right. So anyways, I end up getting I'm really loving this thing, and where it's going to be going to towards the end of the year will be down to 3. And as far as the Energon Universe is concerned, series that will be coming out. Transformers will be remaining to be one of them. So this is issue number 13, first appearance of this character. I'm really enjoying it. Also going to see Josh Williamson in about a week, actually, from today. And I'm looking forward to that meeting. I'm actually have my list of books that I got. I just got to pull them. Move on with Space Ghost, issue number 5. I really been digging Space Ghost. Initially, I was just going to end up picking up just a couple of issues and see how it is, measure it out, and see if I can eliminate it because I'm trying to whittle down. However, I really love everything that David Pepose does. So now in the issue 6. I'm just saying. In here. All right, as far as Blade, I've been waiting on these for a little bit. So I end up getting crazy on it now that I look at it. So here's the red band. So I believe this is the regular cover A. Nope, totally wrong. This is cover F. Oh, so I think this is the 1 in 25. And then this is the regular cover, right? Come on, please tell me I'm correct. Yeah, so that's why I ended up getting 2 of those, which makes sense. So I can open one and I can keep one, sealed up. And then I end up getting this guy, which is all neat and foily, because I just had to. Did I mention I like my variants? So I really been digging Blade anyways. And, I was never really a Blade reader. And ever since his daughter, and we got it's in the saga, then what's that? We just this whole epic event that just transpired with McKay writing, the whole blood hunt and everything. It's just been awesome. Back to Usagi. So this will be my reader. The 1 in 10, I will not end up reading. Why? Because I end up finding out that thing's going for over 2.5 times more than what I end up making purchase for. So I am not going to touch that one. Lethal Protectors, Venom War, issue number 2, design variant. Look at that. No, seriously, look at that. I really been enjoying that series a whole lot. All right, now, Amazing Spider-Man. This ramps, you can see how far behind I am. Actually, I've yet to read 56 and 57. They're in my to read pile over there. So that's how far I am. So here's 58, 9. I know I'm behind. But it doesn't mean I don't read them. Oh, wait. 60. Really cool cover. I'm looking forward to jumping in the series. I know it's a big setup for what's happen after. I was going to read that. On the Ultimates, here's number 5. I know we're already dropped number 6 the other day. I've been enjoying the series. What's been holding me on to it is the fact that they keep teasing the idea that Doom is coming. So it's more not that I'm counting forward on the series as much as I'm counting down how soon supposedly Doom is coming, and that's what's holding me on. Ultimate Spider-Man has been a really enjoyable read. This is the one that's, there's no excuses on why I'm reading that. It's just been awesome. You can just see how far behind I am, though. So there's 10. Like I said, there's 9. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into it. And as I mentioned before, I've just been really busy. Spectacular Spider-Man 7. So now we get Nave in there. I ended up reading, what was it, only 5. Or 6, because there's 8. So I'm, as I mentioned, not only behind, but I'm looking forward to getting into these things because I've been enjoying them. Really have. They've been really good. Now I have a few of these things. If anyone's looking out there for one, but I don't have a replica. I don't even know if they've ever made one before. As far as these facsimiles, tell me if you know. Drop it in the chat. But I'd rather end up reading one of these things and not damaging my original. And I got a clean copy. This one looks good. The only way you can tell the difference is that little number 1 down there, essentially. It's the only difference I've been really able to notice. All right, moving on from that, Venom. I've been doing all these facsimiles. I do own most of these early 200s all the way through the mids, so it's just been nicer to pick up the facts and just reread those out of nostalgia, and it's been enjoyable. Venom 38. When Strange gets involved in a Venom story, it's going to be good. I'm just saying. And this whole Venom war, where Venom's going, the fact that he's going to, spoiler, split. I think it's going to blow everybody's mind who ends up taking hold Venom, because it's not going to be one person. There's a little spoiler. And then Venom War Wolverine issue number 2. This has also been pretty fun, especially since all Logan's been doing is dealing with a bunch of dead, symbiotes. So that's been awesome. Zombiotes, basically. Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood. I did a review on how I'm looking forward to issue number 4, and this number 3 is definitely something I'm looking forward to. The reason why I am that far behind. Been digging how gnarly and gritty, these stories have been. This is not the normal Peter Parker that we're used to, so I've really been digging that. And I've been picking up a lot of the variants. And look at that one. I mean, Zach. If I recall, this John Boy, huh? It has to be. Anyways. Digging it. Got to put them in correctly. All right, moving on from that. This Venom War Spider-Man has been really, really good. I mean, really, really good. We end up seeing what would happen if Peter basically not only had the symbiote, but if he was the King in Black. Venom War 3. Like I said, I'm far behind. Venom War Zombiotes, issue number 2. Yeah, I'm getting it all. Seriously. Venom War Deadpool, issue number 2. I am a symbiote slut. Can't help myself. Venom War Venomous, issue number 3. Take care, DJ. You stay well. I appreciate you being here. Seriously. Blood Hunters, issue number 3. That is, wow. I mean, you get a bunch of people that are not quite a good team to do a good team's job, and that's what's happening here. It's everyone on the team are great. They're just not great together. Ultraman and the Avengers. This is just an awesome. It started really, really well. I'm not an Avengers reader. I usually don't do teams like that. However, you throw Ultraman in there, and I'm definitely going to pick it up. Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, issue number 6. I originally wasn't even going to buy that series at all. I skipped it, and then I saw issue number 1, and it had a couple variants. I'm like, I'll just buy it. Well, shit, I have time. Might as well read it. Wow, this was really good. So I ended up reading it. And, mostly if it's even a halfway decent story with Ghost Spider, I end up picking it up. So it kind of exceeded my expectations. Ghost Spider, when I did the interview with Melissa, she had no idea how well this book was selling, and especially the variant. So not only did I get a couple of copies signed, but now I finally got, earlier to read it and recheck to see how well it's selling, and it's still, it's doing well. I'm very happy for it. Immortal Thor, just got through reading issue number 14 and 15. What was that, about 4 or 5 days ago? And this one still holding me on too. I'm digging it. I was never, again, a huge Thor fan as a kid. But the writing has just been holding me on. So Chasm issue number 2. I guess really what this series does for me is I was never a reader of Ben Reilly, as much as I've been a huge fan of Hallows Eve. So being that, she's the significant other to him, that's probably why I've been picking it up. Mostly of the story of how she relates to him than how he's just doing his own story. Even though this story has really been allowing him to redefine himself and where he's at in the Marvel Universe. Now, this is part of the whole Infinity Watch. And, I believe this was the one that wraps it up. So I really been enjoying the Infinity Watch stuff. So I don't know. The Nyx issue number 3. Now, the Nyx stories that I initially were buying for Kai. So I wasn't reading them. So I have no idea what's really going on with them. And then the Secret Wars, I never ended up picking up the whole series. So now that I'm getting them all, I'm just going to do one fell swoop as a read. I kind of cheated on a couple because I ended up reading like the first 3. And Frankenstein issue number 2. I ended up reading it, and a buddy of mine that has the tattoo of the monster on his arm, he's like, dude, what are you reading? I said, Frankenstein. It's kind of a new version. They're doing all the classic monsters over again. He doesn't read comics. He's like, where's the nearest comic shop? So they do have them, right? I go, absolutely. So I think I just influenced someone to go buy a book. The Cult of Lamb. Now, I don't play the game, but I love this series. This has been a really enjoyable series. Hey there, Spider. I hope you're doing well, brother. And I've been digging it. So what is this for, I believe, right? Yeah, it wraps it up here, and I'm looking forward to how he ends up, settling his differences with his people and with the people who are trying to conquer him. Nightclub, Volume 2, issue number 2. Now, I was really concerned when the big came that they were going to end up wiping out this team. Being that the fact this team's still around and they're still doing their thing, it does allow for a whole new little aspect of the world to open up for these guys. And I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing this as a movie. This should and could be made. Turtles of Grayskull. It wasn't after I ended up making a purchase of this thing. Somehow, some way, I didn't get issue number 2 and 3. So now I got to end up, finding a shop, or I already gave my pre-order for them to get it to me. Survival Street, issue number 1, The Radical Left. I really dug the original, volume of this. So this is the second volume. And I'm looking forward to jumping in this. The satire, the social, both comparisons and differences are extreme. And I do enjoy the series because it does kind of correlate what's kind of transpiring right now. Did I mention a lot of satire? Doug Wagner just has me on lock and key, and I dig in everything that he does. Plastic, which is the second volume. What is it? Death and Dolls? Yeah. I really been enjoying the series, and for me, it's been a series that I've been wanting to read, not only because it allows me to read this series, but then I can go ahead and read the original series that I have never read. Seriously, I'm going to volume 2 first, then volume 1. They're standalone stories, so if you've never read the original volume, that's fine. And if you have, highly recommend the second. Seriously, it's freaking so good. Pretty behind on it, so this finishes it out. I'm looking forward to reading it, as you can well imagine. Not only to finish out the story, but as I mentioned, so I can start another. Barrel, issue number 6. I was ripped apart on issue number 5, and I know what's happening on issue number 6. I did read it. And when you start involving kittens, oh my God. Seriously, Tone, I'm going to have a talk with you guys at the end of the month. I'm just saying. So here's the variant for issue number 6, one of which. I do have the 1 in 10, but I've been getting all the movie homages as well. Grimm has been an ongoing series, is obviously that you see on issue number 20 that I'm picking up for me, that I've been enjoying since issue number 1. It gets rather thick now, and the original storyline has been watered down. However, it doesn't diminish the overall enjoyment of the series if you're already still there. I do recommend, if you can even get close to it, go ahead and pick it up on trade. Don't try to chase down all the individual volumes, and definitely it'll make a lot more sense anyways. Red Coat. I ended up seeing Jeff Johns, and this was all the stuff on the last time I see him that I did not get signed. So all the Red Coat and Rook Exodus stuff I still need to get done. The new series stuff from Hyde Street, I do have. However, their issue number 2 with someone else, and then issue number 3 circles back to Jeff. So hopefully when he does another signing event, I think he'll be doing one more before the end of the year. I'll wipe out the rest of my books. There's issue number 7 of Geiger. That finishes out that series in a sense of that arc, and then we start anew. So it's actually an interesting one, because I believe how it works is it'll finite establish what had just transpired and how it links to both the past, but it also shows you what it's leaping forward to in the future, which also is almost like a beginning of a new arc and its ending, if that makes sense. Destro. Now, Destro issue number 5 finishes it off for that series, as I made mention, along with Scarlet. These finish out everything for the Energon universe, and what we'll be left with is Transformers, a new G.I. Joe launching out, and Void Rivals. That will be the main 3, and that will carry us through the Energon universe into the foreseeable future. There will be mini arcs that come out, and probably one-shots, but those more than likely only end up emphasizing new characters or new arcs that will end up coming out, or even a new event that will end up happening, which from my understanding will be happening, I believe, this coming summer. So look for that. Transformers issue number 12. I know I show you some variants for issue number 13. Well, down below, that's because I ended up getting them at the shop. Here's issue number 13. As I made mention, I'm a lot behind, but that doesn't mean I ain't looking forward to getting into it. Hyde Street issue number 1. This escaped me. I was going to end up taking this in to get signed. However, I do have another Hyde Street that is. I did read Devour, which is a High Street one-shot. And oh my God, this High Street stuff is cool. It's almost like a Twilight Zone, or what was that? Dark. If you remember, there was like a dark night. There was a few. A Night Gallery, Dark something, and then there was another one. But it just has that feel of that, you know what I mean? That Twilight Zone type stuff. They all tie together, but they're individual stories that overall link together as an overall world. So what more times than not, what I end up like getting is, there we go. It didn't like the whiteness. Is I do love my sketch covers, because of late I definitely have been doing a lot of sketches. It's been killing me in the finances, but it's been awesome to receive as far as being able to put some art up on my wall. Dick Tracy, I can't ignore. This has been one that I've been really enjoying, and I can't see me putting down. This has been one of those things that initially started as nostalgia to relive some of the things I used to do with my dad, like listening to the radio and listening to stories of Dick Tracy. That was the original idea of just reading these books, knowing that my dad was on my shoulder, reading them with me. But it's gone beyond that. I've so enjoyed these series and just gone beyond just reading it with someone else that I've now gotten really enveloped in these storylines. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Night Watch issue number 2. I did get, I'm sure, a variant. I ended up getting the variant. I didn't read that one. I ended up getting a variant issue number 3. I didn't get that one. I'm dying to get into issue number 2 because I did read issue number 1. And when I found out who the identity of the Night Watcher is, oh my God, I went through the roof. And it's so cool to end up seeing such a relatively new character. No, it's definitely not a spoiler if you're reading it at this point. Highly ingrained in a past of a character that ends up showing you that this character, even though relatively speaking is new, has had influence in the realm far along. So it's kind of cool how they end up twisting and turning all these and interweaving these storylines together like that. I Lie Popeye, issue number 2. Now, if you end up reading issue number 1, I Need to Borrow Your Eyes. I had to end up using a magnifier. I was end up almost reading my phone at one time, but I just got a big piece of glass that I have. You won't have that issue with issue number 2. I don't know if the lettering, I didn't read to see if the lettering was done by someone different, but the lettering in issue number 2 is more than twice the size in issue number 1. I enjoyed the story in issue number 1. There's a lot of origin in there, but it was just, I almost got a headache. Issue number 2 was so enjoyable and so easy to read that I'm looking forward to issue number 3. Now, Space Ghost, issue number 6. I showed you issue number 5 way down below. I am that far behind. And as I made mention, David is one of my favorite writers. And I've been really enjoying the gravity of this story. It was such a light and wimpy story when I was a kid that it was, it didn't hold any water in the sense of, it was just very surfacey as a story and as a character, and the depth and like I said, the gravity in which that this character is dealing with is far surpasses anything ever introduced in the Space Ghost lore. So I like where David's taking this thing, and it's got me just full on hooked. So I'm never going to probably put that thing down. Going back to nostalgia, we got a Garfield issue number 3 or 4. Originally, I was just going to pick up issue number 1. When I saw it was only a 4-issue mini, there was no way I could. And now that I end up getting it, this will be one of those things I'll end up giving away during Halloween. I'll probably end up giving the whole 4-pack to some kid. Now, when this came out, I was privy to getting all 3 issues, not only signed, but 2 weeks earlier than they were going to be released. So I did already read this, and holy heck, this is so cool. I really like what Tim and Tony have been able to do together. I hope that they end up doing future works together. I was told that there will be works on this as far as they'll be touching base again and coming back to this character. They're just finished with what they can tell of it right now. Hey, Rod, I appreciate you being here. Las Cruces and Christina, as always. There's Spider. Hi, Leia, brother. I hope all is well with you. Appreciate you being here. And DJ, I appreciate you hanging out with me as much as you could. Chad, didn't know you're here. Thanks for being here, brother. Seriously. And then everyone that's possibly lurking in the background, thank you very much. The Night's House by the Sea. I think they're spending extremely a long amount of time. I mean, this is only issue number 3. Really giving detail on the character and a background on the side, as opposed to, forensically speaking, as opposed to just giving us a little more detail of the character and the storyline, and then every once in a while give us tidbits. I think that will end up removing this seemingly like disjointed story. It just, the beauty is I have an understanding of how their first run was done, so I did kind of expect it. It just seems kind of colder this time. It doesn't have the same warmth as the original one had, and I think it's because there was more dialogue and interaction between the characters that allowed me to go ahead and get to know them a little bit better, as opposed to just giving me a forensic breakdown of who they are. It doesn't, I don't know. Hopefully 3 won't do that. And finish it out. Well, almost finishing out. But Batman and Elmer Fudd was a necessity. This was a must. I'm not a huge DC reader. At the same point, you throw any comic, character that I know of in the sense of animation, and I'm pretty much going to end up buying it. I don't know where. All right. So, yeah. Oh, it's in my. So I ended up putting away some of my Spider Boy issue number 12 in my to read pile. I forgot to break it out and show you, but there's one, and here's another variant. I don't even show you the cover A's. However, this is the full appearance of Spider-Girl in here. With that, I ended up getting some at a event that I went to, sketches done. One of the sketches I ended up getting done by Andrew Robinson. I'm glad I remembered his name. Who I really enjoy his art. Now I own more art from him than anyone else, and it's probably an individual that most people don't know. I had him do a sketch of Spider-Girl for me, and it actually turned out to be an art piece. And I think he's going to end up doing a full rendered art piece down the road that I look forward to seeing him and seeing the piece as it's in its completion. That is in its entirety. Yes, everything that I end up getting. Wow, that was awesome. I end up getting through it. Hey, I appreciate everyone that hang out with me. I appreciate you, Air Spider and Christina and Jag and everyone I may have mentioned before, and everyone that cruises in on a rewind. Seriously, I thank you greatly. And essentially, that's it. Thank you, everyone. And until next time, that's it for me. Entropy. Stay well. Bye.